Episode 37. All doors have opened to us, but there are so few doors remaining. In this house there's only like 3 more rooms we can actually draft a new room. We can redraw as much as we want, or at least 5 times, with the gems that we have, but with only 3 possible rooms to put down spaces, I'm not exactly sure how I want to end this day. We already raised our allowance by 5, so I'm pretty happy with that. We could do more by triggering more archive rooms. But I think if we want to make use of today, we need one of these rooms to be some kind of good shop, or something. Something like that. What shops are there anyway? There's still 2 shops I've never seen. There's of course the usual shops, but I think the ones that matter for the future, on this day where things won't matter, would be the showroom and the Mount Holly gift shop. If there's something that we can spend all of this money on in one of those, that'd be great. The gift shop is something that works permanently, but if we got the showroom, and we were willing to give up our jackhammer, which I think we would for a showroom item, then we could check it into the code check. But that's only if we get an actual shop, which isn't a guarantee with these very, very few doors remaining. Let's give it a shot. Well, there's the pool hall. None of these are useful right now. The question is, do we start redrawing now or what? I want the archive to raise our allowance, but that would limit our redraws. Just because I don't like any of these options, and the archive, which I would have fallen back to if none of them were good, costs 2 gems. I'm going to spend 1 gem to redraw and hope that the archive is something free, or that we just get a better room like a shop. Great, it's even worse now. I don't want to spend this. I guess we spend 1 more on a redraw. Just 1 more. We could have spent it on the archive that cost 2 already. Should I just do this now? Alright, 1 more. We don't have a vault key. It keeps on coming up, but we don't have a vault key. Okay, do the free archive. And this was... yeah. We get like a bonus Lady Epson thing. Gain 10 steps for the boudoir. And something lying around, I guess. Oh, would it just be this? Oh, it doesn't trigger on the gems, that's not metal. There it is. A useless key. Would have been more useful earlier on. Alright, we got 2 more potential doors, 1 guaranteed door. Let's figure out how we want to play this. Oh, but first, because I was thinking about it while that was popping up, how many do these shops actually cost? This one's 2. And this one's free. So if we see a 2 gem behind an archive or a no gem behind an archive, it could be either of these shops, potentially. But that's only like a small chance. Yeah, none of these really work out for us. Gonna have to redraw. It's a good thing we got 1 gem back though. From the boudoir. I guess the kitchen isn't the worst thing in the world. It gets us where we want to go, and it gives us some steps to get back to room 46, which we could do. We could get back to room 46 just to progress there, because I think there's More instructions to follow? Waiting for me over there? As soon as we get back there. Alright, make it the kitchen. We don't necessarily need all of these steps, but it could be necessary if the foundation is more steps than I'm thinking. Plus we want to go back to the code check, which I guess isn't that far from the foundation, but still. Alright, our last door. We only have 2 gems. For it to be probably like the best shop that we want, the showroom, we can't redraw anything, because then we would have no gems to actually get the showroom. It's not the showroom. But this could be the... I guess if we're saying that we can't use our gems anyway, we might as well redraw here on our last chance. If we can guarantee the gift shop, that would be the only thing. This could be the gift shop, but it's probably better to redraw at this stage. Okay. Well, it's over. I'd make the clock tower if we could, but we're out of things. Well, I guess we get 1 more allowance. It was the bathroom. Great. Alright. Turns out we couldn't spend our money on anything after all. I guess all we really did today was increase our allowance by 7, which was pretty good. Just give me everything. This is all useless to me. These coins can't be used anywhere. We got the commissary and there was nothing there. Yeah. We'll just buy out the entire menu. Don't have to think about it too hard. You know, I even would have taken the casino. I wouldn't have gambled in the casino. I would have just bought the big wheel. Didn't happen though. I still consider it a success to have unlocked every room in the house the way we did. It worked out nicely, I guess. Foundation that way. Should we stop by the code check first? Probably. Was there anything to dig up here? Even if we could, it wouldn't matter. But I guess we might as well. I guess if we had more gems, we could have, like, redrawn a bit more. Yeah. My mistake. Should have gotten those first. Screwed up a bit. But it's only a chance, right? It wasn't a guarantee. So I guess the most valuable thing that we want to take into another day would be still our digging instrument, the jackhammer. We could also, if we get into room 46, which we're going to, put in the crown. I'm still not sure if that's more valuable than the jackhammer. The crown has some interesting effects, sure. But we can't guarantee the code check. Right, we're in the foundation already. No real progress today either, again other than allowance, but that's not really progress. So this is the thing that made me think about the billiards room, if we could get a key card. You can only call the key card, or call the elevator, if you have the key card. And it only matters if you're coming in from this direction by taking the boat across from the tomb, I guess, or the drained fountain, which is like a lot of requirements to just shortcut your way to the foundation, which you can just normally do by drawing rooms, so I don't think the key card at the start of the day would really be very helpful at all. Yeah. So that was one step. I don't think the elevator from the foundation counted. That's 2. To get over there... Right. That's pushed, yeah? So, yeah. This is our quickest way into the place. The easiest way with the foundation elevator. Surprised that doesn't count as a 3. There's 3. And I guess over here would be... yeah, a very long hallway, but it doesn't count, all the same. So it's actually a lot less steps than I thought. It's only like 4 from the foundation because the elevator doesn't count. We still don't know much about this room. Or I've just entered it wrong. And then 4 to get back. Kind of more affordable than I thought. It's a good thing, too. So whenever we're routing to the underground to pull that lever so we can get to room 46, we have to take into account that it adds 8 steps. From the foundation there and then back to the foundation. Pretty easy to remember. Just under 10. Which was my original estimate. I called it at least 10, but it wasn't 10. Although no, it was actually 7 steps because you go backwards from the room that you enter in the 4th step. So yeah, 7 steps. The lucky number. Easy to remember. And back to room 46 to see if there's any change. Anything here? No. We don't need that key. Okay, so... still not sure about this. We know where 1 and 8 are. We kind of guessed where 1 and 8 would be. Just based on, like, what seemed poetic. And where we know where we are, right here in Orinda, Archeries, or Fenaries rather. The missing bust. Anyway. Any instructions? No. Well, we have 100 gold. Is this just a lie or something? Where are the instructions? I'm waiting. Maybe it's somewhere else, but I don't know where the continuation of that would be. I guess coming here was useless. Well, I'm glad we don't have to come here every time to, like, get more letters from this guy or whatever. Still. I was hoping we would get something more. So yeah, the former ruby crown of Orinda Ares. First time you draw a red room while drafting, you may remove it from today's draft pool, an anti-red room build, of course. And you gain a gem, which is good for all sorts of things. I think this is useful, but I don't know if it's more useful than our fancy item in the code check. I would hate to lose it forever, that. that jackhammer. But we can't just like leave it there forever, right? It's not going to be useful to us all the time. I mean, rather we want to use the code check for other things sometimes, right? Like for vault keys or something. The jackhammer is really good for gems, and it's just like a guaranteed shovel whenever we get the code check, which helps out with a bunch of other places. In exchange, if we get the code check, the crown lets us get gems for free without hunting down any digging spots if we just replace the red room, and it's like a free redraw and avoids the red rooms, which is good. We haven't really made use of the crown, so I guess I'm going to get rid of the thing, the jackhammer. I don't need this, but I felt like picking it up. We have the 100 coins for this guy, but he's not here to pick it up. These coins go away at the end of the day. Okay. Yeah, I know. Just messing with you. And here, take the crown. The all-important crown here in the code check. Kind of, insecure, isn't it? Why would this guy want 100 coins? It's such a small amount. I mean, not tiny, but it feels like it's weird, right? Especially with the crown right there in that room. They could just take the crown and it's probably worth way more than 100 coins. Alright, one last thing. Right here, the gallery. So I think I mentioned at the beginning of this episode or the last episode, I did kind of look this up a little bit. I looked up 2 of the puzzles because I wasn't sure I fully understood the rules, and there was a big mistake that I made. I thought that this thing was giving you the solution automatically, that the solution was stick, but it wasn't the solution. I didn't realize that this fills in as you fill in these letters, like that. So I thought this one was like the only one filled in with the word thick, whereas these other ones were blanks. Like, I thought this was the tutorial painting that tells you the solution is thick and that you enter thick here. But it wasn't thick. After looking this up, the answer is actually this. Takes a while to enter this. They put in a C to fool you. But it's actually think. And then, can we access this? No. Huh. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, while I was looking this up, the 2 that I looked up were these 2. So this one to confirm that my thought of this being a tutorial was wrong, I guess. When I entered thick, I thought we had to like enter all 4 of them to trigger something. Turns out when you trigger 1, it triggers this. And actually when you trigger 2, it unlocks one of these. And when you trigger the other 2, it unlocks the other one. But I didn't want to look up too much because I wanted to confirm what the rules were for this puzzle based on the solution to one of them. But even after finding the solution to one of them by looking it up, I didn't feel like I had a solid grasp, so I wanted to compare it to my previous solution here, or at least what I was trying to get from this one. So this one is think because it's the word thick, but only the K isn't thick. So it's a thin K. So it's think. That's the way these puzzles work. And it might be like the hardest kind of puzzle because the logic to get to thin K based on this painting, well, I don't know how much people would be able to do that just naturally. Like, how does the rest of this puzzle relate to it? I don't know. The other one I looked up was this one, and I recognized that most of this stuff was red and that there was this P here. I'm not going to enter it right now, but the solution is ponder. It's a P on red backwards, because this is red, and this is the backwards version of the red. So it's a P on DER. So I guess based on that, and also what I looked up, the other hint was that all of these share the same theme, is that all of these solutions are based on, like, thinking or whatever. I'm not going to enter ponder because I didn't earn this one. So these two are the ones that I didn't look up. And based on what I know are the solutions here, I tried to come up with some answer here. So if I can get at least one answer for these two, then I can accept the solution here. And then I can enter this one and try to come up with the solution for the last one to get the last puzzle here, the last reward here. That's my pride, I guess. The only thing that I can allow myself to do after having looked up 2 of the 4 solutions. So starting here, without actually having looked things up, I did notice while I was looking at my picture that this thing here is a table and it's got vary on it. So it's a veritable, which means like truth or whatever. And this is a genuine, like in Parks and Rec. I guess I was genuine, but all the same. Like a wine glass, and it comes from a bottle of Genu. So those all kind of fit the same theme, genuine, veritable. But those don't fit into here, it would be too easy, right? It's a 7-letter word. So all these have to do with, like, truths. Genuine, veritable, the actual objective being that way. But I'm not sure how this arrow pointing over here helps you come up with a solution. The last thing in this picture are all the eyes. And knowing that it has to do with, like, thinking and pondering and whatever else, these eyes made me think of realize, that old meme on the internet. Real eyes, EYES, realize, real lies, like a lying. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but realize is the only 7-letter word that I could think of, and it does have eyes in it, but I don't know if we can actually select those letters. That was the solution I came up with. There's an R there, an E, an A, an L. Okay, it's beginning to look like this is the answer. Again, there's like a lot of visual noise here, but turns out sometimes you can just figure it out if you focus on one thing, I guess being the eyes here. The rest of it just ends up being hints, so I guess somehow these handcuffs might be a hint towards think, but I don't know how. And our reward are 2 gems? Oh. That's not very helpful. It's going to be the same puzzle every time, so I guess we can just come in here and get 2 gems for free whenever we spawn this, but this room's pretty rare. It's like the rarest of the rarities. So it's not really a great solution for going through all those hoops. Anyway, we can enter this one. And if I can get the last one, which I'm a bit hesitant about, then the last reward will be ours, I guess. Do we have to enter this every time? It seems like we might. This room's pretty rare, but it'd be pretty annoying to have to do this every time. I mean, at least the solution's the same. So yeah. Again, the other one I looked up, and if we can solve this, then we can get the last reward. So, this was the 7 sins. It had the infinity, all of these needles and whatnot, a shark fin, a door, and some kind of pelt. So I started thinking with, like, these as sins. And then this was infinity, and these were like pins in the infinity. And as those words came to mind, the correlation between like pin and infinity and sin made me think of this as a fin. And this was, I forget what I thought of it as. It's not a pelt, it's a skin. All of these in things, some kind of, I don't know, importance to in. And then after that, I'm just following the same logic that I had before, but this room was like the in room. I was thinking of this as the in room. Right, yeah. With this as the in room, I thought about the possibility of this thing being an 8 as well as an infinity. Maybe it had like a double meaning or something like that. So if this was the in room with the 8 in it, then an 8-letter word that I could think of that fits, sort of, was ruminate, fitting the same theme as thinking and pondering and realize and all that. That was a solution that I came up just staring at my photo after looking up those other two solutions. Does it actually fit in here? Technically it would be like rum innate, but does ruminate fit? It's not looking bad so far. Okay, this might be it. It's kind of like a lot of hoops you have to jump through again, but the fact that the room had so many ins in it, and it was a room, that was the big thing that brought me down here in the first place. So I guess if you know the rules to this puzzle, if you look up like 2 of the solutions like I did, I guess with enough time you can figure out the other ones, but this one's still really hard for me. It worked out, I guess. Again, my pride is wounded because I looked up 2 of the solutions, but I'm a little happy that I solved these other 2. Not completely happy, though. What is this? Key 8? Will presumably unlock room 8. What? What's room 8? We've never seen it. Okay. Well, I just put the crown in the code check. But with where we are right now, I feel like getting to the room 46 is easier than getting this key again. So I think I'll put this key in the code check. Unfortunately, there are no more locked doors here. We unlocked them all, and used up all the rooms. Yeah, we can get the crown some other time. Room 46 isn't too bad. There's like multiple paths to enter it. We just have to rely on luck to get the whatever room that was, the gallery, but that's kind of unlikely. Much easier to get the code check, I think. And just to make sure. Oh, it doesn't show up, but yeah, there it is, key 8. I thought it might be like allowance or something. Still kinda sad. I don't like looking things up. I kinda hate it. Especially with a game like this, but I don't know what else to do, you know? Oh, I should have gotten like a good thumbnail of this room for the video thumbnail when everything was still like blank and not unopened. Maybe I can find one, whatever. Well, there's still 30 more minutes to find another thumbnail, so we'll see. Okay. I don't know why I walked all the way here. I guess we're done. Can we do the chess? The only bishop room that I know of is the rumpus room, so I don't think so. We'd have to find like another bishop room. Okay. Day's over. How do I... there. Now with plenty of more allowance on the next day. The day was supposed to be a mulligan, but it worked out in our favor, I guess. We got some things set up. We lost the jackhammer, but that was calculated. I hope it was a good choice. And our step counter is normal, thank God. What exactly happened to it? I'm pretty sure it wasn't like some actual effect that we triggered that reduces our steps for the next day and gives us one die. Must have been a bug, I think. The tomb. This gives us a way into the foundation, only if we have a key card. Do we need coins though? The schoolhouse we could go for, like later, if we have way more options, but I guess the classrooms aren't the worst thing to have in the draft pool. This would connect the shelter automatically, so we don't have to worry about that. So it's kind of like a free unlock, I guess, and we can use the Black Bridge connection for something else. Plus we protect ourselves from red rooms. Let's do that. Let's actually go inside though. I think sometimes something spawns in here. Oh right, we got a gem, because the safe is always unlocked now. And we could start the experiment already. Or we could wait until we actually get the lab, one of those rooms. Maybe best to start with the experiment rather than wait, like very early on. This is kind of the reverse of what I did in the previous day. Doing the same thing to unlock all the doors, but doing it from here. Kinda wish you could skip those. They take a while. Alright. Probably not immediately, because that's only triggering once. Whenever you draft a shop room, it's going to be pretty hard. Or draft a red room plus losing 5 steps. Losing steps would be killer, but we can just stop doing this after we draft 5 red rooms, and a loss of 20 steps isn't that bad, considering how long we survived yesterday after losing most of our steps in the beginning. Letter to the mailroom. Gold to the allowance is always nice, of course. It might be more meta to do this, but what we want is letters, I think. That is kind of our biggest option to learn more about the sigil seals and everything, because of the stamps, if we're allowed to like see them, because sometimes they're hidden or something. But the stamps show us colors, they show us the core shape, they sometimes give us the name of the area, and I think sometimes they show the weather. Let's do this. We'll draft red rooms and accept the loss on steps. Try to get as many rooms as we can, or as many letters to the mail room as we can. And if we're lucky, we can unlock all the doors in the house if we trigger that 4 times. We might want to do it more than 4 times for more than 4 letters. Don't know what the cap on letters is, though. How are we beginning today? Shall we pick up our allowance or... well, I guess if we're drafting red rooms. Although we're also protecting ourselves from the effects of red rooms, so... if we get the chapel, this won't really matter. Might as well pick it up. No red rooms yet. Might as well be the pantry. We do want a red room. But I think we want to guarantee some other locations if we can. That might be nice. Just spend 1 gem? Sure. This guarantees the bottom left of the house, and also we can redraw. The parlor is pretty common. We're probably going to get it. Yeah, we want the steps back, so the nursery is a good option already. Although this is also... no, the nursery for the long run I think is better. We're already spending a lot of gems, but we got 1 back. Alright, let's start drawing some red rooms. Not yet. I know what I just said, but this goes to the left. Or should we redraw? Can we get something better than this? Not really. Well, it could be a red room. Alright, that was kind of a waste of time. There's the mail room, but I don't think we want it in this position. We know that the mail stays there whenever we deliver mail to the mail room by the experiment. So we can just trigger this in a more convenient location. Commissary, huh? This triggers our chef effect, but there are no green rooms other than this one. Yeah, what's for sale? Kinda spending gems like crazy. I should maybe be saving some. Okay, we kinda need this since we lost our jackhammer. I'll take a sledgehammer too. And we have all this money, right? So might as well get both of these. Well, this only adds on 1 step for every food. Is it worth 5 coins? We might want to hang on to coins for something else, just in case. What about the compass? Guarantee north, or not guarantee, but more likely? Yeah, I guess that's pretty important. It happens pretty often that our run starts to feel like it's going to end because we can't go north. I hate to do this. It does go north. We'd be in trouble if our run ended at the pantry, though, if we use this dead end. Let's do this. We'll spend 1 more gem, I guess. Just to guarantee we're going north. Nothing to pick up. And our bonus for 17 is a lot of things. Apples are extra delicious today. Maybe I should have gotten that salt shaker. No, wait. It doesn't make more apples spawn. It just makes them more step-worthy. 1 key. Okay. And a pair of chests at the entrance hall. Good thing I got the sledgehammer. We'll be back to that door. We'll explore the pantry side first. Still haven't done any experiments. Alright, we got our money back a bit. And a couple of keys. For later. Well, here's our extra delicious apple. Maybe I should have gotten that salt. Whatever. Apples are normally like 1, right? Bananas are 3, oranges are 5, or wait. What was the math here? I don't care. I don't know what was the increase from 2 to 5 or 3 to 5 or what? 1 to 5? It was just a big increase to 5. That's all. Okay, here, finally. Protect us from that. It also goes in the directions we want, and there's our letter. No items though. Pool is nice. Courtyard has dig spots. We could find keys here. Yeah, it also goes south. This is good for some rooms. That would be nice, but... Dig. I guess the courtyard is pretty common, so I didn't have to do this, but... This is like, maybe going to be an influx of useful items. Would have been a lot of gems if we still had the jackhammer, but we didn't even get the coat check yet, so... doesn't matter. Yeah, this wasn't as lucrative as I hoped. At least this was here. Which is just a few more keys. Mailroom? Why not, right? It seems like they're trying to push the mailroom onto me, which is fine. We could get the bacon and eggs though. I feel like this is going to respawn pretty naturally though. This is the rarest one here, I think. And it's the best use of our dead end, I guess. Plus whatever's inside here might be helpful. So first of all, let's get this. The sleeping mask and 2 gems. I guess that's okay. This will conserve some steps, and we were running low on gems anyway. So here's our new letter. I'll definitely take a picture of that, but... That is a new stamp, that's what I wanted. Kinda hard to see it though, I'll have to zoom in with my photo later. What is that? There's a number 4, and actually I'll zoom in with it right now. Sorry Randolph, I'm ignoring your letter again in favor of these stamps, which are more interesting. It's actually kinda hard to see. I'll just quickly get up off my seat and try to see if I can see that text. By standing next to the TV. Alright, so that's Morajai. That's what the text says. The symbol seems to be some kind of boat. Let's go to their... or my page for the... all the locations. Wait, I don't have Morajai written down. Oh, I guess it could be orange or yellow, which I kind of have empty. But I also have some question marks next to some other things. I'm pretty sure Nuance is green though. In fact, yeah, I have a photo for that. Yeah. And Arch Aries... I'm pretty sure it was the black/violet one. The diamond or something. I think it was a diamond. That was the door that I unlocked in the sigil chamber but didn't finish the sigil for, so... unclear about that one. But I'll put down Morajai between yellow and orange, I guess. Actually, would it make sense for Morajai to be the mountain? It seems like it has something to do with, like, boats or the ocean. Could be the heart? None of these other ones seem like they have to do with... Well, with Fen Aries, the pentagon was front and center. That was the core, or whatever, of the sigil. Not all of the stamps seem like they have the core, maybe. Because I don't see how this boat could be a core shape. Not any part of it. Not the mountain, not the heart. The hourglass, of course, is a Raja. We can just ignore all these other ones that I have the thing for, so... yeah, I think... this stamp doesn't have any core on it, unless... no. I don't know. What color is this anyway? Wait, no, hang on. I have orange written in 2 places. I have orange heart and orange arch thing, which I wrote down for the shores or something like that. Based on that other stamp we have. Actually, is it right here? This one. This one's orange. Yeah, Vera Shores or something. And this one I thought would be the arch, because the turtle is kind of arch-shaped. That's the core, maybe? This could also be another stamp without the core. This one, the stamp is kind of hidden. I mean, we can kind of see it just in this view. What is that, though? Is that the diamond? Kind of annoying they don't let us see this one by hiding it behind here. Seems to be like pink and blue, though. Which isn't really a color on our list of colors for the sigils. And then this one was gray, or rather black or violet. No, wait, we know black is Orinda, so I can cross off black for this. So I guess this is violet, which is distinct from purple, which is Araja. Then what color is this? I don't know what color this would be. That's not orange. Wait, hang on. I gotta bring up my photo of the book of sigils, because it listed all 8 colors there. Probably what all 8 colors could be, I guess. Where is that photo? Here it is. We had black, red, violet, pink. Oh, pink. Green, yellow, orange, and white. White? Wait, what? Hang on, I have 8 things written here, but I don't have white and I don't have pink, so what did I copy again? Purple and violet are definitely not both on the book. For some reason I thought purple and violet were different things. Damn, so I guess I have to cross off both purple and violet. What the hell? Wait, so maybe... Is this white? Because how else would you do white? I think this might be pink. So maybe Arch Aries is pink? If it's the diamond? I have Arch Aries question mark written next to the diamond on my notes, but no, I'm not so sure. Wait, hang on, no. Wasn't this Arch Aries? Yeah, this is Arch Aries. So it's... damn it. Well, we know it can't be black. And I don't think it's any other color. Let me just look at this again. Black, maybe. Red, no. Violet was a maybe, but there is no purple. For some reason I thought purple and violet both existed. If we know purple is definitely a Raja, which it must be, then it's not that. This isn't pink. It's not green, that's nuance. Yellow was a mystery to me, but this doesn't look yellow. It would be a more clear yellow, right? That's not orange, that was the one we just looked at, Vera Shores. So this has to be white. Arch Aries is white, I think. This is the only way that I could think white would work. I mean, there might be like a more clear white somewhere else, but... So what I currently have as a working theory is Arch Aries is white, a diamond, and like industrial, or something. Then what would this be? The colors we have on my photo are, again, black, red, both taken up. Violet is taken, pink is taken, I think, by that hidden stamp. Green is taken, yellow is not necessarily taken. Orange is taken by Vera Shores, and we just now assigned white to Arch Aries, I guess. And I'm pretty sure this is orange, not yellow. Right? Please? This doesn't look like a yellow to me. Not even in like this lighting. In fact, it looks green. I'm pretty sure this is pink, so let me write down next to the diamond. No, wait. The diamond is Arteries, or so I thought. God damn it, I'll just write down in like a different location. Diamond pink question mark. I must have a lot of things mixed up on my list here. Some things are more clear than others. I wrote down question marks next to the ones that I wasn't sure about, but it's not helping so much. So annoying. What is this color? I mean, I would call it green or blue, but that's not a color we can pick. Of the available ones, the closest one might be green. But we have nuance. That was definitely green. I hesitate to call this yellow, but it's the only one I can think of. So right next to my note for yellow, which is I guess next to the mountains, in my notes I'll write down Mora Jai question mark, even though I really doubt that. I'll put down 2 question marks. I'll put down like ship above it just to remind myself. Really weird. You know what, I'll even write down greenish ship. I wish the colors were more clear here. It feels like I should be getting this, you know, as a normal hint, but I'm just having trouble splitting hairs with the colors, which shouldn't be a thing, I guess. And actually, what's that written under the ship? I'll stand up again. It's no good. Even with my resolution, there's no way I can make it out by standing next to it. I think I'll need the magnifying glass to read the bottom part. Okay, well we can come back here with a magnifying glass later. I spent way too much time just trying to decipher this stamp, but that's the most important part, I guess. Let's go ahead and read the actual letter from Randolph. Sorry to make you wait. Simon, in case it's useful to you, here's a rough diagram of the steam duct system. Due to the ever-changing nature of the rooms of the estate, we ended up building the duct system to be quite flexible, and if you look along the ceiling in many rooms, you will find many of them have been outfitted with steam ducts. As long as you align these rooms together in an uninterrupting string, power can be transferred from room to room, even if the boiler room and its intended destination are on opposite sides of the house. Yes, we know this. I think the only useful thing here would be... Does this diagram show us the general direction that the boiler room would connect to? Like, to the top left of the boiler room, north-west, would head towards the lab? And then northeast would be more likely to be the pump room? If it is, I have the photo, I guess. And apparently the garage also uses the steam. I never noticed that. I'll have to try again sometime. Alright, I wasted a lot of time there. Let's just continue. What did I get? The sleeping mask and some gems. We still want to trigger some more red rooms. At least, like, 3 more. But we can't right now. The greenhouse gives us the pass to the antechamber only if we get the lever, but more green rooms is useful, and we also get to dig things up in here, and because of our water placement, there's going to be a lot of stuff available to us, and we get an item. This was the best move, I think. I still think it's the best move, despite the old shoe. Just one coin. Okay, but these, we get gems for this. Spend 1 gem, get some gems back. I guess only 2. Still useful. We already know about this. Continuing north. Looking for more red rooms, I guess. This is the only one, well, these two are the only ones that give us not a dead end. I kind of want to save the gems because I don't think of anything that comes to mind that would be useful from the secret passage. Nothing specific that we want to draw. If this came up last time, like we're in a position we could have used, I would have drawn the shop room to try to get the stupid showroom, but even if we can get the showroom now, we can't guarantee money this run. Nothing here. And then we still have the observatory for the left side. I think this would be our best option though, even though we're blocking off from the right side a bit. We'll take that. Is this metal? I guess it was. Funny that triggers on anything metal, even if it's not immediately useful to us. They're kind of pushing the secret passage on me. It'd be nice if we could go south, but the observatory connects there, so sure. The secret passage, I guess, for later. Do I want to backtrack to the observatory? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. Plus 7 more if we end up making a dead end. It's kind of early in the day. Probably best to do this now. Thought there was something there. And in we go. Alright, this lets us continue to the left, so we'll do that. We don't want to go to the north of the secret passage because we'd rather trigger it from there to decide whatever we want, so we're doing this. Bust it open. Alright, the dice are useful. Coin's always nice. Cloister is a big cost. We can't afford it anyway. We don't want to go north. The funeral parlor is a red room, but we don't really care about the negative effect there. Plus we want to trigger it later for more gems. Corridor it is. Go do the patio. We've got 3 green rooms already. A quick influx of gems. The bedroom, the West Wing Hall. The patio would net us more gems immediately, even if it is a dead end. Does it spread to this room? I guess it does. I forgot how useless the basic shovel was. Pretty much useless. Well, not entirely. It's still chump change, basically, but sometimes it's okay. And that's time for the episode, it looks like. Kind of ended in a nice view of the outside. It's always a pain in the ass when the episode ends, when the hour ends, and I'm in a ugly-looking room and have to stare at a wall or something. At least with this room, we can stare out at the beauty of nature and the mountains and all of that, while we wait for the next episode to happen. Now would be a good time to take a break.